WWE legend Jeff Hardy hit the headlines earlier this year after being arrested for his third DUI in 10 years, and his brother Matt has recently been discussing Jeff and his relationship with former WWE boss Vince McMahon, who has had a turbulent 2022 to say the least. Today, we're discussing Hardy's DUI from earlier this year, plus Matt Hardy's words on how Vince McMahon viewed his brother. Stay with us. First up, we're discussing a huge claim from Becky Lynch. Team Belair scored a big win at Survivor Series thanks to the returning Becky Lynch, and the man has gone on to make a pretty big claim surrounding the 2023 Royal Rumble. Of course, Lynch has already achieved big things in the organization, and she has recently revealed how she has her eye on becoming the first woman to win the Royal Rumble on 2 separate occasions. As you'll remember, she won the 2019 Royal Rumble before going on to win the winner-takes-all triple threat match at WrestleMania 35. This propelled her into uncharted territories as she became the first female wrestler to hold both belts at the same time. But she isn't finished there. Lynch has her sights firmly set on the Royal Rumble once again, and speaking to WWE UK recently, she outlined her goals for the upcoming year. She said, you always hope to win. If you're entering the Royal Rumble, then you always hope to win. So that's the plan. Win the Royal Rumble and go on to main event at WrestleMania twice. That's the goal. The 2023 Royal Rumble will take place at the end of January, and there's been intense speculation as to who she might face once WrestleMania 39 rolls around a couple of months later, with some suggesting that a certain Ronda Rousey could be set to challenge our girl Becky in a fight WWE fans have pined for some time. Next up, one SmackDown star believes he has what it takes to dethrone Roman Reigns. Braun Strowman has recently returned to the WWE for his second spell with the company and will be hoping he can make a bigger splash than he did the first time around. And Strowman has recently suggested that he thinks he can be the man to take Roman Reigns' undisputed title for the first time in more than 3 years. Braun had the chance to win the title against Reigns and Bray Wyatt back in 2019, but ultimately succumbed to the current champ. But he was in fine form recently as he outlined how he will get to the top spot. I am the monster of all monsters for a reason, and anytime I have an opportunity in any match, I feel sorry for the competition because it's not fair, Braun said, before going on to suggest that he would hate to have to fight himself. He added that he's going to take any opportunity he gets to make a run at the title before claiming that he has Roman's title in his sights. He said, let's be real. It's about time somebody takes those things off Roman Reigns' hands. The monster just might have to be the guy to do it. Having come back strongly to the WWE of late, Strowman suffered his first loss when he came up against Ricochet in the SmackDown World Cup recently. What do you guys make of Strowman's comments? One WWE employee has recently discussed Triple H's way of doing things. Stay tuned. It's no secret that current and former WWE employees are singing the praises of Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, since he took over as WWE Chief Content Officer, head of creative, over the summer. The Game was thrust into the role as allegations of Vince McMahon's sordid affairs were aired publicly, forcing the former boss to stand down. And one man who knows Triple H better than most is Brian Gerard James, aka Road Dogg. The former in-ring competitor spent years on the WWE roster and took up an executive role back in 2014 as his time as a pro wrestler came to an end. Back in January, he was let go from his position and given 9 months' worth of severance pay following his release, but received a surprising call once those 9 months were up. James explained, "It was all an incredible story with divine intervention for sure," before revealing that literally the month the severance pay was due to end, Paul, or Hunter as most people know him, called me and asked me if I wanted to come back, which just shows how much Levesque differs from McMahon. What a great story. Were you guys Road Dogg fans back in the day? What about that Jeff Hardy DUI then? Hardy was unfortunately involved in yet another DUI earlier this year, adding to the previous 2 he'd racked up over the past decade. He was apprehended in Volusia County, Florida at 12:45 in the afternoon on June 13th, with charges including DUI, alcohol, and drugs, third offense over 10 years, driving while his license is canceled, suspended, or revoked, and violating restrictions placed on a driver's license. Hardy was held on $3,500 bond, but this will come as a disappointment to many of his fans who believed he had truly turned a corner. The legendary wrestler has battled with substance abuse for the majority of his career, which has seen him regularly collaborate with his brother Matt. As a result of the arrest, Hardy was pulled from his upcoming performances for AEW. Jeff first left the WWE back in 2010, but returned to the fold in 2017. His final appearance for the outfit came in bizarre fashion passion as he decided to leave through the crowd after exhibiting strange behavior. Of course, many suggested at the time that he may have been intoxicated, and shortly after he was released from pro wrestling's top promotion. However, Matt Hardy quickly came out in defense of his brother, claiming that he passed his final drug test with the WWE, but his arrest back in June suggested he has returned to his previous ways, unfortunately. So what's the latest on the legal matter? Having been arrested on June 13, 2022, it has since come to light that Hardy was barely responsive when stopped by police. The arrest resulted in a suspension from AEW, but some reports have suggested that Hardy has been on his best behavior of late and has even turned a corner. This has prompted fans to speculate that his return to the ring could be imminent. Unfortunately, though, the legal matter is still ongoing, and the younger Hardy brother was due in court back on November 17th, where he had previously entered a plea of not guilty. Of course, the fact that he has been arrested for the same offense twice before probably won't do him any favors in a state where a third offense of this nature is viewed as a felony. Hardy had been expected in court back in October, but the hearing was pushed, which was rumored to be down to the two sides attempting to hash out a plea deal. The November 17th hearing was again pushed after Hardy's defense filed for a continuance, and it is now expected to go ahead just before Christmas on December 21st. Whilst the charges leveled at Hardy are obviously serious, we hope for his sake he's able to figure out a way around this situation and come out on the other side having learned his lesson once and for all. What do you guys make of Hardy's current predicament? Let us know below.
I'm just going to ask you straight up. Everyone wants to know, do you have an update on Jeff? Is there anything you can share with us at this time about Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, he's basically doing the same thing he's been doing. He's doing exactly what he needs to be doing to get to where he needs to be in life. And, more or less, we've just got to get these legal issues behind him before we move forward. So that's kind of where we're at with Jeff, and we're hoping that happens sooner rather than later.
And finally, what has Matt had to say on how Vince viewed Jeff? The Hardy Boys were a staple of the WWE around the turn of the century and were involved in some of the best, most groundbreaking matches with their participation in things like table and ladder matches. And in a recent interview, Matt Hardy has suggested that former WWE head Vince McMahon had something of a soft spot for his little brother. After their run as one of the best, most popular tag teams in the promotion's history, both brothers made their own runs at the singles, and Jeff even won the WWE Championship back in 2008. Talking about that era, Matt remembered how Vince liked Jeff a lot, adding that he knew his little brother was a little different than the rest of the guys on the roster. Matt went on to describe his brother as a charismatic enigma, suggesting that people don't understand why he's doing what he's doing. Going on to speak more on how the former boss viewed Jeff, Matt said that McMahon saw what he described as a rock star complex in Jeff. Of course, that same rock star complex has always been somewhat of a hindrance to Hardy, as we previously discussed with his brushes with the law. Matt finished by explaining, "I think that's in the back of his mind and he just acts that way. So that's why he comes off so cool all the time." And I think Vince picked that up right off the jump, and that attracted him to Jeff. As always, thanks for dropping in on us today, and remember to swing by again next time for more fun and games. And why not do us a solid by liking today's video as well as sharing it with any WWE enthusiasts you might know of. Bye, guys.